So some of you listening to me talk and say, oh, this sounds really good, but I'm not going to eat that way because I'm to this, I'm to that. My family, my work schedule, my travel schedule. The primitive brain always comes up with an excuse, as illogical and crazy as it may be. A person, so you're like sitting here listening to me speak, and you could say, well, yeah, it sounds pretty good, but I'm not going to ever eat like that. I'm going to just go right back to my old diet again after hearing all this information. Because the addiction doesn't want to die. You are not the best decision maker for your own life. You can't behave you can't think in a matter and make the right choices for your life when you've developed an addictive brain already. And sometimes people need help to stop smoking, to stop snorting, to stop shooting up with heroin, and to stop going to fast food restaurants and eating processed foods. Sometimes you need help. And sometimes you have to ask for help. And get the ashtrays out of your environment, and don't hang out in bars if you're an alcoholic. Don't hang out. You have to develop a protective environment for yourself, and get away from those addictive triggers that are calling your name, because you've already had this illicit love affair with these rich foods that are hurting you, and you have some hidden part of yourself that doesn't want to give that up, and you have to face the reality that part of yourself has become distorted or, in a way that's no longer emotionally healthy because you still want to damage and hurt yourself. Because if you were really thinking logically, you'd want to do everything that would help yourself and help you be healthy and live longer and be a better and more fuller person and a more fuller and happier human. So what I'm saying to you right now is an excuse is no excuse. There's no reason why that you shouldn't put the best foods in your mouth, and you shouldn't seek out the best opportunity to protect your health and be the healthiest version of yourself, the most fully intellectual, creative, and best person you could possibly be. And that's, of course, so there's no reason why you can't, there's no excuse that holds up to scrutiny here. Overeating is an ethical dilemma. It's not just about yourself. Because look, we learn to eat wrong here, we become addicted, but we'll learn to behave wrong too. In this country, and many parts of the world, not all the parts of the world, but many parts of the world, we're looked to feel like we're better if we can make ourselves feel better than some other group or other person. We're not just trying to be the best person we can become and be the most kind and compassionate and loving and contributing person to the other people's benefits and to the world and make people, we're not trying to benefit humanity, we're trying to be better than other people. You got to get in the best school, make the most money, be the best athlete, beat out somebody else, be competitive with them, and it's good if you could make less of them. If you could make less of people that don't have your religion, your country, your background, your genetics, your skin color, if you can make less of some other people and feeling you're superior to them, that's encouraged in this country too. It's all about beating some other person out. And that means people in this country too much are thinking about their own self-esteem by looking how other people are seeing them. They're trying to look impressive to another person. They're trying to impress other people. They're trying to have other people glean their self-esteem from feeling they're better or bigger or more special in some way. Instead of their self-esteem coming from their ability to be compassion, to have kindness, because your happiness ultimately is based on your ability to care for reality, how much you love the world around you, including the wonder and beauty of nature, of art, of other humans, of communicating with people and caring for other people and loving and feeling for other people and having emotions of good feelings because you care and feel for other people and you care for the world around you and you're passionate about all the things you love in the world around you. It's your feeling of being able to love things that are outside of your own self, whereas we're learning in this country it's all about loving the self. They always say love yourself first. And we're always worried about pleasing some other person because you want that other person to look at you favorably. Having a person look at you favorably is not really good for your self-esteem. It's going after self-esteem in some perverted way. And why am I telling you this anyway? What does this have to do with changing your diet? I'm telling you this because it's the reason why people fail and they can't make this change, because when they go back home they spend a week with me or a month with me and they learn a lot of information, And they feel like they're actually liking the food, their taste buds are changing, but they go back into their world. Like we used to do this a lot, because I remember that Whole Foods Market used to pay us money to put people in a week in a hotel with me and my staff. For a whole week, we'd be lecturing and training them. And these were people who were unhealthy, eating unhealthy food, and usually overweight and sickly. And they'd go home, and most people would go back to their old way of eating and go, how could they possibly do it? How could they possibly learn all this information and still go back to, self-abuse like that? And the reason is because they didn't have enough training in changing the personality of who they are, and changing their motivation and their desire for self-esteem, because they're still looking, because when they go back, they get this negativity from their home environment, from people in their work and their family, and they're still trying to fit in, be socially connected by looking for other people's approval. And it's desire for the approval of other people that interferes with your ability to do what's best for yourself.